He knows exactly how long it's been since your last text. Down to the day. Maybe down to the hour. He's just betting you'll break first. He's not going to admit that, so I will. For the next 90 days, you don't block him. You don't announce anything. No speech, no closure paragraph. You just stop reaching first. That's the whole experiment. If he wants you, the road is open. It's just his turn to walk it. And I'll tell you now how far this goes. On day 47, 11:41 at night, he sends you 8 words. You'll get them when we get there. And when the 8 words don't work, he does something he hasn't done in over a year. 90 days. Stay with me. Day 1. Nothing happens. That's the point. That's the first piece of data. You open the thread and scroll back through the last 30 messages, and you count who started them. 26 were you. 14 months of good morning, and how did it go, and did you land safe, all traveling one direction. You weren't imagining the imbalance. You were counting it correctly the whole time. And understand what you're doing here, because it isn't a game. You're not playing hard to get. That only works on someone who's chasing. You're going quiet to find out what's real. Silence doesn't create distance, it reveals it. Day 2. You find something he'd laugh at. Your thumb is already moving before you decide anything. And then you stop. Because this isn't texting him. This is checking the rope. Pulling it, to feel if there's still weight on the other end. You delete it. It doesn't feel like power. It feels like holding your breath underwater. That's normal. Nobody warns you that day 2 is the loudest day. Day 3. The phone buzzes against the couch, and you're already reaching. Except it didn't buzz. Nothing came in. You imagined it. There's a name for that, and it isn't crazy. It's a nervous system that spent 14 months on call. You trained yourself to feel him coming, and now you hear it even when it isn't there. You're not losing your mind on day 3. You're just finding out how much of it he was renting. Day 5. You tell one friend what you're doing, and she gives you the line you've heard for a year. Maybe he's just not a texter. Except you've watched his phone light up for the group chat. You've seen him type paragraphs about a game. Gray dots, under a minute, for other people. He's a texter. He's just not yours. That's the part that wore you down, isn't it? Not his quiet, everyone else explaining his quiet to you. You weren't asking them to explain him. You were asking someone to believe you. Day 7. 1 week, and part of you decides he simply hasn't noticed. He's noticed. Here's the part men don't say out loud. There's a rhythm to who reaches first. We don't track it on purpose. We don't have to. It's a clock in the next room. You only hear it when it stops. And when it stops, it registers. Not as loss, not yet, as inconvenience. Something that used to arrive on its own, warm and free, suddenly doesn't. And he does the math you think only you do. He checks the thread. He sees the last message is his, sitting there answered, and the one before it, and the one before that, all yours. He can read the same 26 out of 30 you read on day 1. He just reads it as a question. How long until she comes back? On day 9, the inconvenience gets a name. Yours. Day 9. His name lights up your phone for the first time in over a week. Your stomach drops before your eyes even focus. That's not weakness. That's 14 months of training doing exactly what it was built to do. Then you read it. Lol, thought of you. A meme attached, no question, no how are you, nothing that requires him to stand anywhere. 4 seconds of effort. I'm being generous. The pattern is called checking the line. He's not opening a door. He's tugging the thread to see if it's still tied to you. It's supposed to feel casual. That's the design. You reply. Warm, short, no question back. The conversation dies in 2 messages. Notice who let it die. Day 16. He watches every story now. First name on the list some mornings. Never a word underneath. There's a version of this that sounds flattering, so let me take it off the table. Watching costs nothing. It's presence without weight. The emotional version of driving past your house with the headlights off. He's not reaching for you. He's keeping you in view. Different verbs. And the difference is the whole story. And I'll tell you the part you won't admit to anyone, because it happens to almost everyone in your seat. One night, you post a story. For him. You pick the photo where you look unbothered. You check who's seen it 4 times before bed. That's not you failing. That's the same rope checking from day 2, just wearing a nicer outfit. Catch it. Name it. Let the next story be for you, or be nothing at all. He's watching either way. Let him watch someone who forgot he was. Day 27. 1 in the morning, he likes a photo of yours from last spring. Last spring. He had to scroll for that, down past months of your life, into the archive, on purpose. And the only trace he leaves is one tap on something old. The pattern is leaving footprints. Deep enough in your page to find last spring, not brave enough to type one sentence in the present. A man who wanted to talk to you would have talked to you. So don't read it as a message, read it as a measurement of exactly how much risk he'll spend on you. One tap's worth. But the calendar is about to raise the stakes, because 6 days from now is the one day everyone breaks. Day 33. His birthday. It's been sitting in your calendar like a tripwire, and everyone would understand this one. A birthday text isn't chasing, it's just polite, which is exactly what makes it dangerous. The birthday is the door people give themselves permission to walk back through. It doesn't feel like breaking your silence. It feels like being a good person. You type it. Happy birthday. 2 words. Then you remember your birthday. 9:40 at night. 5 words, no punctuation. After you'd checked your phone all day. You hold delete until it's gone. And understand what just happened. That missing text, on that specific date, is the first silence he can't explain away. Busy doesn't cover birthdays. Everyone texted him today except the one person who always did. Somewhere in him, a clock starts. 14 days. That's how long it runs. Day 38. Before it goes off, I need to tell you something about the other side of this. About us. Years ago, there was a woman who texted me first. Every day. 4 months. Good morning. How was it? Did you eat? Every single thread. Hers. And I let her. I never once worried about losing her, because she never gave me a single quiet day to worry in. I could feel the gap between her effort and mine, and the gap didn't feel like guilt. It felt like safety. I never said one dishonest word to that woman. I didn't have to. The imbalance did the lying for me. So when I tell you he can feel your silence, every single day of it, I'm not guessing. Day 47, 11:41 at night. The 8 words. Day 47, 11:41 p.m. Your phone lights up the dark of the bedroom. Hey, been thinking about you. I miss you. There they are. 8 words, 47 days in the making. 14 days, almost to the hour, from the birthday he spent scanning for your name. And your chest does the thing. Of course it does. Part of you has waited over a year for this message. It just finally arrived at the exact hour that tells you what it's worth. Because listen to the clock. 11:41 is usually not the beginning of a man's courage. It's the end of his options. The day is over. The noise is used up. And in the quiet that's left, his mind walks down the hall to the one room where someone was always glad to see him. He doesn't miss the work of you. He misses the warmth of you. Different things. The hour is how you tell them apart. But here's the truth about you. In this moment, you type back. You do. Your thumbs move on their own. I miss you too. And the cursor blinks, and your whole body leans towards send. 47 days, balanced on one button. So ask the only question that matters. Has anything changed except the hour? Same man, same silence behind him, same 26 out of 30. You hold delete until the words are gone. You put the phone face down. The hardest thing you'll do all year takes 4 seconds. And from the outside, it looks like nothing at all. You think that's the ending. It isn't. Because a man who sends 8 words into silence doesn't shrug and move on. He escalates. Day 61. Your phone rings. Not a text. A call. His name, lit up, moving, alive on your screen. The thing he hasn't done in over a year. And your body does what almost everyone's does. You stop breathing. Women who've sat where you're sitting describe it the same way, nearly word for word. I held my breath the entire time it rang. You don't answer. You don't decline it either. Declining is a button, and a button is a message. You let it ring itself out in your hand. Look at the ladder he just climbed. A meme costs nothing. A late text costs almost nothing. But a call risks hearing it in your voice, that you've changed. He spent that risk because the cheap moves stopped working. And the voicemail he leaves? There isn't one. Of course there isn't. He didn't call to say something. He called to find out if you'd answer. And afterward, you sit in the quiet with your heart still going, and nobody claps. No one saw it. There's no medal for the call you didn't take, but somewhere in you, something files it away, proof, in your own handwriting, that you can feel the pull that hard and still not move. That's not coldness. That's the first day the want and the choice stopped being the same thing. Day 74. The paragraph arrives. Long, apology-shaped. He's been going through a lot. He knows he hasn't been great at reaching out. Maybe you could talk. Careful here. This is where most people fall. Effort that only shows up when access disappears is usually not growth. It's withdrawal. He's not reaching for you. He's reaching for the version of his life where you required nothing. Could a man change? Some do, but change announces itself over months, in daylight, in actions. Not in one paragraph, 13 days after a phone call you didn't pick up. You don't have to punish him. You don't have to answer in anger or answer at all. You just don't have to volunteer for round 2. Day 90. Night. The kitchen. You're washing a single mug, and the phone buzzes on the counter behind you. Here's the part nobody promises you, so I will. You finish the mug first. You dry your hands. You turn the phone over with the pulse you'd have for a weather alert. It isn't him. It doesn't matter. That's the point. Somewhere in the last few weeks you stopped counting the days, and the counting, it turns out, was the last thread still tied to him. Not the love, the scorekeeping. You didn't win him back. You won back the part of you that kept the score. You already knew. You just needed the silence to say it back.